Hey, this is JJ from Pudgy and Sprout. This week I got a commission to make a round display tray. The client had a budget of $500 and wanted a minimalistic design. I took this on and made some mistakes along the way. This project seemed simple to do and it was only going to take a few hours to accomplish most of the work on my lathe. I'm using beech for this build. The client wanted 5 of these display trays, so I bought 150 worth of beech for this project. Now, you must be thinking, that's more than 30% of your selling price. How are you even making money? And you're right. I'm putting the beech through the planer, and after each pass, you can see the grain is slowly revealing itself. It is one of my favorite parts of the milling process because you can actually have a sneak preview of how the final piece will look. The tray itself has a diameter of 35 cm, so I'm going to join 2 boards together to make the size. After I accepted this job, I had a sudden realization. Is my lathe big enough? Well, the answer is no. The maximum diameter of my lathe is 32 centimeters. That's just 3 centimeters shy. After wallowing in some self-pity, I managed to find a way. I will be using this circle cutting jig on my bandsaw here to cut to size. This setup is pretty simple. With a pivot point in the center of the workpiece, I rotate until it makes a full circle. Applying the same principle, I'm using another circle cutting jig to create the border around the top of the tray. At this stage, I'm almost 9 hours in. My goal was to finish this project in 12 hours. Then I will pay myself $15 an hour after considering business profit and consumables. Why $15? I am a self-taught woodworker, so I have learned mostly from experience, and in my 3 years of making things, I feel that this is the right price for me to charge at this stage. Yes, it is not a lot, but no one goes into woodworking thinking of being a millionaire. Now for the base. I'm cutting the square into an hexagon to lessen the amount of waste that will come off the lathe as I turn. I'm making 5 of these circle trays, so sometimes you may have wondered why the workpiece looks different. That's because it is, and I'm just shooting from different angles. For the base, I'm making a conical shape by creating a slope where both the top and bottom faces will meet. Sometimes I find it a challenge to stay present in the task that I'm doing, especially for repetitive tasks. But there are also times when I'm in this flow state where I feel one with the tool. It's like being completely absorbed by what you are doing and nothing else seems to matter. I'm applying shellac to the areas with torn grain so as to glue the fibers and make it less rough before sanding it and repeating the process until it becomes smooth to the touch. My initial plan was to turn a mortise and tenon to attach the top and the base together. As the top was too big for me to turn the mortise on the lathe, I looked for another solution. The base was also a little heavy, and I should have thought of a better way to make it so that I didn't need such a huge chunk of wood. It would have also brought down the material cost as well. To attach the top and base, I will use M8 bolts and inserts which can be fastened together and also support the weight of the base if you were to carry from the top. For the finish, I chose shellac because I didn't want it to yellow with an oil-based finish. For lighter woods like beech, I prefer to retain as much of its original color as possible. I use platinum shellac dissolved with denatured alcohol. It is one of the most forgiving finishes for me, in my opinion. It does not leave any brush marks when you apply it. It dries extremely fast, and it builds a film on the surface for protection. I am applying wax to add a tactile feel to the trays. It makes holding it more enjoyable, as you can feel a velvety texture. At this point, I have stopped timing myself. I'm already 30 hours in and I consider it done. I set aside $180 for labor, which means that I paid myself $6 an hour to get these trays out. This makes working at McDonald's seem like a step up in my career. As it can only get better from here, I've learned the importance of knowing the limitations of my tools, not to underestimate the labor hours, and to start with a prototype. My question for you, since you have made it this far in the video, is what were your first mistakes when you started? Let me know your answers in the comments, and thank you for joining me in making these trays.